Welcome back to Talkshop Tuesday, my friends. I have outlined 5 terms that I see pop up in real estate all the time. I was waking up, went for my morning workout. I walked in the door, Steve goes, Allon, I want you to write something down that pops up all the time in real estate. I want this Talkshop Tuesday to be about that. That's why it's great to have a creative around all the time. He comes up with things like this. So I said, you know what? Rapid fire, things that came up in the past week that I could just think of off the top of my head, and I'll write them down and we'll talk about that this Tuesday. First one is as is. An as is deal, here, I'll even type it in. What does as is mean? As is denotes that a seller is selling and a buyer is buying an item in whatever condition it presently exists, and that the buyer is accepting the item with its faults, whether or not immediately apparent. That's a great definition. That's the Wikipedia definition. Basically, if I'm buying something as is, I'm buying a property right now, as is. It has a problem with the electrical, it has a problem with the bathrooms, no big deal because I know I'm buying it, so it's okay to me. But to somebody else that doesn't have a team of contractors by his side or a construction experience, that might be problematic. So I'm going in knowing that I'm going to repair that stuff, and the seller has no responsibility. He takes no responsibility. He's selling it to me in the exact condition that it is right now. That's number one. Number two, proof of funds. So proof of funds is usually a letter from your bank or lender that says you have the money to buy this property. So I get sent this all the time. I need your proof of funds. I need your proof of funds. I submit an offer, but they need my proof of funds. Go figure, I'm buying so many properties from the same people sometimes that they still need my proof of funds. I guess it just helps them sleep at night, but the reason is the buyers probably want it just to feel more comfortable, to know that I'm real. So if I'm buying $1 million property, they want to see a pre-approval letter from the bank stating that I can buy it with X amount of leverage, and then proof of funds for the balance. So let's say I need proof of funds for 300 grand and the bank is giving me 700 grand. Or if I'm buying it all cash, I need a letter that says I have over $1 million, or a bank statement that shows over $1 million in order to buy that property. So that's number two, proof of funds. Mom?
Hi.
Hey, Mom.
It looks like we're going to do it.
Mom, I'm doing a Talkshop Tuesday. What does pre-approval mean? I want you to shoot out this definition.
What do you mean, what does pre-approval
What
mean?
is a pre-approval? Come on, Mom, you know real estate.
When a bank qualifies you for an amount of a mortgage that they will give you based on the information that you've given them.
So a pre-approval letter is something that you use in order to show that you're approved by the bank to buy a certain property. So the bank now gave you a letter and it says, I can buy this property for $1 million. Allon is approved to buy something for $1 million, hypothetically speaking.
Yes, he's approved to get a mortgage for that amount. If Allon wants to put another $200,000 or $300,000 down, he can go shopping for a house that's 1.5.
Exactly.
But he's going to get a mortgage for $1 million.
Exactly. So a pre-approval letter, when somebody asks for a pre-approval, they're saying, I want you to send in a letter from your bank or lender that says you're approved for this amount of money to buy the property or more. If you're approved for $1 million and the property's $500,000, sometimes you might want to ask your bank to send you something a little bit lower because you don't want to show them that you have $1 million buying power when you're buying a property for $500,000. Because all of a sudden the price, exactly, it could be against your benefit for negotiations. It'll all of a sudden tell you, they might counter and say 550, 600. Why do you care? You could buy for $1 million. That's irrelevant.
Correct.
She's great. She just helped with one of the Talkshop Tuesday definitions. Mom's gonna be hyped. 4, NOI, the famous NOI. I always talk about this because I have to do this calculation on a daily basis many times. NOI, very simple. Your income minus your expenses. That's your net operating income. That's it, super simple. So when I take a look at a property, if the rent is $120,000, let's say, to make the math easy, $10,000 a month times 12 is $120,000. The taxes are $10,000, so let's assume. The insurance is $3,000, and then I have $7,000 in other miscellaneous expenses. Maintenance, management, landscaping, water and sewer, and the tenants pay the other bills. Okay, that leaves me with $100,000 net operating income. Boom, that's it. If it's $1 million property, I know I'm buying a 10 cap because you divide the NOI by the amount of the purchase price and you got your cap rate. And to me, a 10 cap is a fantastic deal and I'll pursue the property. Very simple. NOI. Income minus expenses. Let's go on to 5, the last one. Escrow. Escrow is something that is an account. It's a bank account that either your title company has or your lawyer has. Now, every time you send a down payment for a property, it goes in the seller's attorney's escrow account. Usually it's interest bearing, very minimal interest of course, but it's interest bearing, and that's a separate bank account that your money is in a safe space during the entire deal. Now let's assume that you're buying a house not as is, and there's a plumbing issue, and the plumbing issue needs to be fixed. So you agree with the seller to put $5,000 in escrow, and you have up to $5,000 to fix that plumbing issue. Now if you get it fixed for $2,000, you send $3,000 back to your buyer, back to your seller, I'm sorry, and the attorney holds it that entire time, and then they release that escrow money, right? Both sides need to agree to it, and if one side doesn't agree to it, then you might end up in a lawsuit, but at least you know the money's safe in an account. So escrow, it comes up in every single transaction. Money's always held in escrow one way or another for something. Down payment, taxes, insurance. Your title company might hold, your mortgage, your bank might hold 3 months of escrow for principal and interest just to be safe, and that's it. That's what escrow is. Very simple. And that's 5 definitions. Pop up every day in my life. They're going to pop up in your life when you start investing in real estate. Even if you invest in cars or anything really, this stuff pops up all the time. Your net operating income, what an escrow account is, proof of funds, that stuff's really common. So I hope you guys learned something today. 5 quick definitions of terms that pop up in real estate all the time. Peace.